Hi everyone, welcome back to my Flosstube. My name is Rachel and this is Lemonade Stitching, and today is my December 2024 wrap up. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm super excited to be making my December Flosstube today. If you can't tell, I have been a little sick, so please bear with my gross voice. This is actually the best it sounded all week, which is why my video is going up a little later than I wanted it to go up. I was hoping to get this up like first or second day of the month, but alas, here we are. It's already January 6th of 2025, which is crazy. But regardless, I'm excited to be showing you guys all my progress and new stuff that I got in December. I touched a ton of projects. These are all of my project bags that I have to go through with you all. So there's a lot to show you. And then I got several new patterns because, you know, I had to gear up for my no buy that I'm starting this month. So yeah, my patterns aren't in any kind of order. I'm just going to kind of go through the bags one by one like I usually do, and kind of tell you about the projects that I have, the progress I made, and all that. I guess before I jump in, I'll introduce myself really quick. My name is Rachel. You found Lemonade Stitching. I am 25 years old and I live in Lexington, Kentucky. I've been doing Flosstube for about 2 years now. I'm in graduate school and I'm originally from upstate New York, Rochester specifically. I obviously love to cross stitch, but really just like crafts in general. I have a black and white kitty and I moved to Kentucky with my fiance Graham. We're actually getting married this year in October, and yeah, that's a little about me. Cross stitch really is my main hobby. I do read a little, knit a little sometimes. I love to travel and just hang out with my friends and visit with my friends, but cross stitch is my main thing. So yeah, let's jump on into my whips. So my first project is the Light Upon the Lawn, and this is by Blackbird Designs. And I got this pattern when I was at the Color and Cotton store back in October. I went for their like stitching day and spent a weekend in St. Louis, and I kitted this up with a custom Color and Cotton conversion. So I converted all the flosses from the original Weeks Dye Works. I tried to stay pretty true to color, but I did do all Color and Cottons. And I'm stitching this on Gray by Weeks Dye Works, but it's more of like a dirty brown. So I'll give you a little close-up. I started in the top left corner, and I think I'm about 35% of the way through. And this fabric is a 32 count, so I'm doing it 2 over 2 on 32 count. And I really like the coverage that it's giving me. My next whip is Celtic Noel by Lavender and Lace. So here is the chart photo. And I'm doing this mostly as called for on 28 count linen. And the only change I made is to the metallic thread. So this is the progress that I have. I worked a lot in her dress and extending that down into the skirt. And then I also started on the metallic down here at the bottom. And so for the rest of the gold that I have left, I'm using Petite Treasure Braid instead of the called for DMC in the color PB01. This has been a lot nicer to work with already than the DMC, so I'm really happy with this switch. And I think it's going to make stitching the rest of this really enjoyable. So that is Celtic Noel. I really love this piece. I wanted to get more progress done in December, but I just worked on so many projects, and it wasn't really calling to me like I thought it would. But I am at the 48% mark, and that includes stitching and beads. My next whip is Modern Pop Art Strawberry by Box & Fox, and this is a photo of what the final piece will look like. I'm stitching this on 18 count white Aida, and I made a lot of progress on this in December. So I have found the the right edge of the piece. My brain is still recovering from being sick, so bear with me. But I worked my way over, found the right side of the piece, and now I'm kind of working my way down. I was kind of jumping around when I was working on this because I found that was the only way I was going to actually make progress on it, was if I didn't have to finish a whole strawberry before moving on. I was just kind of sick of that method. So that is how this is looking. It's a super easy stitch. I think I only worked on this twice and I made a ton of progress. So yeah, that is Modern Pop Art Strawberry. The next whip I pulled out was Jacque's View, and this is a cover photo for ya. This is an old leaflet that I thrifted at my local creative reuse store. It is full coverage, and it's got a black and white cat. That reminds me of my cat Sybil, and it's like a European porch balcony scene. Really love this piece. And I'm stitching this on a 14 count easy grid Aida, and I originally started just by doing the doors before getting all the colors together for the center. And so the entire left door is done, and I counted over and started working on the right side. And I wasn't worried about it. I mean, I was a little bit worried about counting over to the side, but because of the easy grid, it made it really easy to count over, and I'm pretty confident that I did it right. And even if I didn't, there's like two single columns of single stitches all the way down that's like one color. So that's gonna be my like safety net, is if I have to do like 2 lines or something, if I'm off by 1 stitch. But I really don't think I am because of the easy grid. So this is Jacque's View. Again, a lot of progress on this one. I actually ended up stitching a lot of this in hand for this side, just because it's a lot of block stitching and it was really easy, and it made it go by super quick. December really was the month of stitching in hand. I stitched several projects in hand, and I think that's why I was able to get so much progress done, which I'm not complaining about. And I did also, after I got home from Christmas break, pull most of the flosses for the center, which is a ton. I had most of them in stash. So this is what we're looking at for the middle here. So there's lots. Most of these I'm sure are used for like 100 stitches or less. But I pulled most of them, and then if I have to get a couple DMCs, I won't be that upset about it, or I'm sure I can find a similar color in stash, but I'm going to wait until I get there, see how many stitches it is, that kind of thing. I did decide if I really need to buy a DMC color for an existing project, so like if I can't find something in stash that's close enough, I will buy that, and I won't count it against myself for my no buy, because this is an existing project, and I already pulled like 70 colors from stash, so 1 50-cent gain really isn't gonna break the bank. My next whip is a Bucilla counted cross stitch kit, which is called Summer Symphony. You guys have seen this lots of times. When I left off on this, I was done with the entire left side, and I was just starting on the right. And I decided to use this as my New Year's Eve 12 by 12 stitch. So I stitched this all day on New Year's Eve instead of doing 12 different projects. And I made a lot of progress. So I'm going to put up a photo first of where it was before I picked it up. So like for my whip parade. And then I'm going to put up a photo of the progress I made on New Year's Eve, which I was really excited about. But then I have been working on this last few days while I've been homesick. I usually try to not overlap projects month to month until I've had a chance to film the video, so it's like what I accomplished in a month. But I was just too excited to keep working on this, so I did make a lot of progress, and this is where I am today. I am so excited for how this is turning out and to be making significant progress on here. This house, or this part of the house that I'm working on, is filled in with a lot of white stitching, so it might be hard to tell from far away, but it's just looking fantastic. I'm super excited about it. I am backstitching this one as I go, so that I don't have to go back and do that. And then this part here is just like empty. There's no stitching there. So I'm working my way down and kind of going back and forth between the tree and the house, the tree and the house, so I don't get too bored doing just like one type of stitching. So again, that is Summer Symphony. I'm really excited for the progress with this one. I don't know if I'll get more progress throughout the rest of the month or if I'll switch over to some other projects, but I love how this is coming out. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I am stitching this on 14 count white Aida. I think it's just what was in the kit, but this whip is like 10 years old. So there's a chance it's not, but I'm pretty sure it's just the kit Aida. And I would love to be able to finish this year, honestly. When I was doing my whip braid and kind of going through everything, and I realized that this whip is 10 years old now, I was like, all right, might be time to focus and get that done, and get it off of the list. This is also, I also have one other kit project started, 2 in my stash that I want to do, plus Jacque's View, which is full coverage. So if I'm gonna get through those, I gotta start making progress. My next whip is actually going to segue me into Jingle Ball. So I did attend Jingle Ball earlier in December, which was hosted by Stephanie from Lindy Stitches as an online cross-stitching retreat and event. So I attended all the days, and I had a lot of fun. I spent most of my time in the stitching rooms. I didn't do any classes or anything. This was my first time attending the Jingle Ball, and I don't know, they just weren't calling to me. I loved the charts, but I didn't really want to go to the classes. So anyway, I spent most of my time in the stitching rooms, just hanging out with my friends, making new friends, and getting a ton of stitching done. And then obviously shopping as well. So I got several charts, but I tried to refrain myself to only Jingle Ball exclusive charts. So I'll kind of put up the ones that I got on the screen. So I got Holiday Stroll by Teresa Kogut. Absolutely love this chart. I got I Smell Snow by Pansy Patch. Marshmallow World by Heartstrings Samplery. And then I got 2 charts that weren't Jingle Ball exclusives, but I got the Cardinal Biscornu by Tiny Modernist and the Nordic Ornament Tree by Tiny Modernist as well. She was having a sale in her shop, so even though they weren't exclusives, they were on sale, so I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it. I love all of those, and so I knew I wanted to start one after I finished the Jingle Ball like ornament pattern, the small for the event. So I stitched this up first, and this was the free Santa Claus that everyone got. And I stitched and FFO'd it all in one day. It was exhausting, but it's become like my new tradition, I feel like, because I did it at Midsummer Stitch as well. So I did switch up the colors from the called for on the chart, and I did like a darker red and green on the hat. And I just stitched it on some 32 count color and cotton linen, I think. Yeah, I think 32 count color and cotton. It was just like a no-name solo die, and then I finished it into this odd-shaped ornament with a green back and like a maroon cord around the edges. So this has been hanging on my tree for the last few weeks, and I love how it came out. I love the shape. I've never done a funky shape like this, but I definitely will be doing it again. It was really fun and not at all as hard as I expected it to be. So that was the freebie ornaments. That was the first thing I stitched for the weekend. And then I started one of the new patterns that I got. So I ended up starting Marshmallow World. I felt like that was the one that I was most excited about and the one that I wanted to start first. And I had the absolute perfect fabric and stash. So I did this on 32 count Blue Ridge by Atomic Ranch. So this is like an overview of the piece. Lots of light blue modeling, the perfect snowy winter sky. And then I'll do a close-up of the stitching. It's mostly white, so it could be hard to see from far away. But here's where I am. I did the whole snowman, and I started working my way over. And I think I'm right at the birch trees here on the edge, so that's one of the next things I'll do. And I'm actually stitching this with all Cottage Garden threads. So I had the perfect colors and stash left over from in the library, and so I ended up pulling them and using them. I still have them on their little thread cards, so it can be kind of hard to see the colors, but this is kind of what we're working with. I pulled Austin as the blue because I didn't realize the chart actually does call for a light blue, but because of my fabric, Austin is like the exact same color. So I'm basically just not gonna stitch all the blue stitches and see how I like it at the end, and then if I think it needs the blue stitches, I'll go back and add them. But they blend in so much, so I feel like I don't really need them. And then the main color that I'm using is Page Turner, which is like a dirty white. So I'm using this for the snowman and the birch trees. And then I'm using Foxing as the light pink, and I'm fussy cutting Pocketful as the darker pinkish red. I'm just using this end portion. I pulled Candlestick for the gold, which is really only in the snowman's hat and the barn. And then Sleepy Cat for the carrot nose, and Fussy Cutting Moth for the snowman's arms, and just using the brown here at the bottom. I'm just using 310 and then 3865 as the snowflakes and snow. So that is what I'm doing for Marshmallow World. I haven't pulled this one out in a while, but I am stitching all the snow in hand, I think. I was kind of going back and forth and doing like the long parts in hand. I don't even remember. But I'm stitching this 1 over 1. Sorry, I'm such a mess today. I feel out of practice. This might actually be 2. Nope, I'm right. I'm stitching this 2 over 2 on the 36 count. I went back and forth on if I was going to do 1 strand or 2, but I felt like with all the white stitching, you just couldn't see it with 1 strand well enough. So I'm going with 2. And I'm hoping I have enough Page Turner, my like dirty white, and if I don't, I think I have a sub that will work, but I'm gonna cross that bridge when we get there. So that is most of the projects that I worked on. I do have one more, but I'm gonna wait until kind of in the haul to show it to you, because it is a project that I purchased over my Christmas break. So I'm gonna kind of jump into haul. I have a couple different categories, but they're all things I'm really excited about. So the first set of charts that I have to show you are from Facebook Marketplace, or Facebook Destash. I did actually delete the Facebook app yesterday because I have no self-control when it comes to the Destash groups, especially when I see Blackbird charts, and I'm doing a no-buy for the first half of the year, and there's just no way I'm going to make it through if I have Facebook and seeing all the charts that people are selling. So I actually deleted it. So these will be my last Facebook Destash charts, hopefully until June, if I can practice some self-control. But the first one I got is Janet Betts' Finnegan sampler from Threads of Gold Samplery Productions. And I don't know, but I really like this chart. It's a nice little sampler, looks really pretty, and it was just a couple dollars, so I was like, why not get that? So that is a sampler that will hopefully get done someday. I definitely want to stitch it. And then that obviously couldn't go alone, so I did get 2 Blackbird charts with it. I got Dear Daughter, which I actually saw Pam is starting from Pam and Steph, or from Just Keep Stitching, I guess, is their channel, but Pam started this in December as one of her last starts of the year, and this chart is gorgeous. I don't have plans to start it right away, but if you're new, I love Blackbird, and I'll buy pretty much any Blackbird chart for a good price, so I definitely wanted to scoop this one up. And then I got one other one, which I think, I don't know if it's out of print completely, but when I looked it up, everywhere that sold it was out of stock, and the price on Facebook Destash was less than the price of buying it new. So I bought it, and it is the My Heart is True booklet, and it's by Blackbird Designs and Nicoletta something. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that name, but it's just this little booklet, and it's got like 20 something charts in here, I think. I honestly haven't even gone through it in a while, but it's got a lot of really cute charts. Little needle book, so I wanted to add this to stash. And again, no plans to start anything in here right away, but I'm really excited to go through it and stitch some of these. There's some good medium projects, some good smalls, a little pin cushion. So someday we'll be working our way through this booklet. And then I do have one other Blackbird chart that I bought earlier in December, but I can't remember if I showed you guys already. I think I might have even bought this in November, but it just took a little longer to show up than I was expecting. So I don't think I showed it in the November Flosstube. But this is the Down in the Valley pin cushion. And I love it. I think it's so, so sweet. It's just a little small. And this is from the, I think it's the Rewards of Merit series or something like that. I've never seen these tiny little Blackbirds, but it just came in this little bag. And I really like it. So I'm excited to have this in stash and again, stitch it someday, but no immediate plans. The next portion of my haul is from Hobby House Needleworks. Like I said earlier, I am from Rochester, New York, and that is home to Hobby House and their brick and mortar shop. And I didn't actually know that until I started Flosstube and moved out of New York. The last couple times I've been home, I didn't have time to stop into the shop, but thankfully on this trip home, I finally had time to stop in and shop around. I think I was there for a full 2 hours. It was an amazing experience. Their shop is stunning. It's huge. Very roomy. Like there's a ton of stuff in there, but I didn't feel like claustrophobic and like all of the cross stitch was closing in on me. My fiance really liked it because they had seating. So, you know, when husbands and boyfriends come, they can just sit and not rush you to finish up your shopping. Not that he would, but he really likes that there was a seating area and chairs kind of spread throughout. And yeah, it was a great experience. They had a little puppy there named Bear, and he was so, so cute and kind of followed us around. It was Christmas Eve when we were there, so we were the only customers. All of the staff were so nice, so helpful, very chatty and talkative, and you know, we were kind of getting to know each other a little bit. But I ended up getting just a few things. I didn't give myself a limit because I didn't want to. It was Christmas. But I did try to only get stuff that I had been looking at for a while or some exclusives to Hobby House, since I didn't need anything per se. But I went in knowing I definitely wanted to get at least one Hobby House exclusive and some neutral linen to add to stash. And so that's exactly what I did. So I got 3 charts. So the first one is actually my last width. And so this is Merry Christmas by Hobby House. This was their like 2024 Christmas chart, I think. So it's this gorgeous red monochromatic piece, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And I wanted to do this in red. And so I actually started this on Christmas Day. And so I got fabric and floss while we were there and kitted it up. And I ended up doing this on a 40 count Cedar River in the color Overcast. And now, in the last 2 days, I've heard like 3 or 4 people talk about Cedar River linen on Flosstube. So I think I just haven't been paying enough attention. But when I was in the shop, I had never heard of Cedar River. And I'm obsessed. I think it might be one of my new favorites. I want to order all of it. But I can't because no buy. But this is the piece that I got and I started Merry Christmas on. It's warm toned light natural modeling. And I picked out a gorgeous Cottage Garden threads to stitch it. It's the color Leather Bound. So this is like the overview. I do think it'll take most of this piece, go most of the way across. I don't remember 100%. But here is a close-up. Oh, it's so stunning. This is my first time stitching a monochromatic red piece. It would help if I could actually hold it up. And needless to say, I am obsessed. It is so fun and easy to stitch. And I want it done as soon as possible. And here is the Cottage Garden threads. I did get 2 of them in this gorgeous deep red color. I was looking at photos of this online yesterday to update in Notion, and I will say the cover photos that I've seen for listings for this color are not accurate. It is a gorgeous deep like wine red, and the cover photos make it look bright red. It's not. So if you're looking for a deep red, consider leatherbound. I love it. I'm so obsessed. So I'm stitching this 1/1 on the overcast. I don't know how far I am, but I put it away when we got home and I was sick because, you know, I didn't want to mess it up while I'm sick and my brain's not working, but I definitely want to pull it back out. And I could see myself stitching on this out of season because I love it so much and I want it hanging up in my house. And Graham did help me pick out the fabric and color for that so that we can have it, you know, as a decoration for our home. And so it makes me happier that it's like something we picked out together. The next chart I got was another Hobby House exclusive, Feather Tree Christmas. I have not seen this one online, but I really like it. And so I got this to add to stash. No plans to start it right now, but I love it. And then the third chart I got was another one that I kitted up, and this is another one I've wanted for a while. Every time I see it, I'm jealous of people who have it. And this is Santa Stops Here. I love this chart so much. This is another one I want it on my wall right now, like yesterday. I'm obsessed. So I was just gonna get the chart, but then I checked, and this is by With Thy Needle and Thread. So I was just gonna get the chart and kit it up later since I have no plans to start it right away. But then I saw it calls for R&R fabric, and Hobby House sells R&R fabric, and I know it can be hard to get R&R. So I was like, I'm here. I'll just kit this one up too. So I ended up getting the called for Winter's Brew. Sorry, everything's in plastic and noisy. So I got 40 count Winter Brew. Here is the fat quarter. I don't need to unfold the whole thing. So again, it's just a nice warm neutral. And yeah, I hear the nice woman at Hobby House, I don't remember her name, but she told me winter or all R&R fabrics are not color fast. So if you're stitching on R&R, there's a little note for you. She said they're all coffee and tea dyed, so they're not color fast. So I need to write that like in big red letters on the tag so that I don't forget when I go to start working on this and ruin my whole project. But yeah, so I got called for fabric, and I ended up just buying the over-dyed flosses with the exception of one because it was out of stock. I don't even remember what it is, but I'll worry about it when the time comes to start stitching. But the chart does use a mix of overdyes and TMC. So I got all the overdyes for it, and these will just be sitting in stash until I'm ready to start it. I do want to do Christmas in July again this year, so I might start it then since it's already kitted up. But I have no plans as of right now. Segueing off of Hobby House, I did get myself one other gift from myself to myself, and that is some Dinky Dyes. I saw on Instagram that Dinky Dyes was running a sale for their like oopsies packs, which are basically just missed dyes or offcuts. I don't know. But basically, they were 20 oopsie cuts for $20. So I was like, yep, sign me up, please. So I got 2 packs of the Dinky Dyes oopsie cuts, and they are stunning. I put them on a little piece of ribbon in rainbow order, and these are just some silks. If you never use them, they're kind of fluffy, but I don't know, they're really nice feeling. They're kind of shiny, and I'm excited to add these to stash. Some of them do have names and they look like they're the actual color. Others have like a slash through the tag, so I'm assuming that even though there's a name on it, it's not the actual color that it was supposed to be. There was something wrong with it. Not 100% sure though, but I think there's definitely like enough on each little skein to use them for a small sampler or on 40 count or something like that. But I'm obsessed with the colors. I got packs number 2 and 5. And I only got like 2 or 3 that were doubles, but I honestly don't even mind because it's nice to have more of one color. So those are my new Dinky Dyes. I'm already kind of brainstorming things in places that I could use these. But I haven't done any floss tosses yet because I was waiting till this Flosstube was filmed. so that I could show you guys all the new colors. And then they also just included a couple little like random colors, or like little, I don't know, what are these? Complimentary skeins. Not full skeins. Like, I don't know. My brain's not working today. You can see it though. They're little samples. So, I have that in this bag. And I think that was my last gift to myself for the year. And now I need to stitch everything. I do have a couple more things to share. I got some stitchy related things for Christmas gifts. Since stitching is my main hobby, it's the main thing I asked for Christmas. So my family delivered. But the first thing, this is not stitchy related, but I just need to shout out this cute bag that my sister gave me. I am a reusable bag girly, and this one is adorable, and it's green, which is my favorite color, and I love it. And in here, I have my gift from my mom and my aunt. They both got me a huge handful of DMCs. So I have all of these to add to the collection. I basically sent my mom a list of all of the DMC numbers that I didn't have in stash. And I said, go crazy with this list. Anything on here is fair game, because I just kind of want to build my full set. I'm not actively trying to get a full set, but the more I have, the better chances I have of having the right color in stash. So I got a little bag of DMCs, which is great. And then my mom also got me a small Morgan hoop, and she didn't want that ship alone, so she got me 2 pieces of Aida. She picked out a fun dark blue and a fun light green, and these are both 16 counts, and they're just little 16th yards, so just little cuts. So I can do a couple ornaments on here or something. And so these will be fun colors to add to stash. I always love receiving stuff that I don't have to pick out, because like my mom and I aren't going to pick out the same thing, and then it just makes my stash more robust. I don't know if that's the right word. But that was from mom, so thank you, mom. And then my fiance got me a couple things as well that I had asked for. First is a DMC color card. If you've never seen the DMC color card, it basically is just every single color of DMC all in one. Let me see if I can show this whole thing. Look at that. Huge. I'm just laying down at this point. But it literally is every single color, and this is the threaded version. So I think there's a version that's just like the color printed. This is the version with actual thread, and so it goes through all the color families and shows you all the colors. And I'm excited to use this for like color conversions. So when I want to pull, like say a chart calls for a color I don't have, I can look up the color on my DMC color card and use my stash threads to kind of compare and see what I want to switch that color out for. So I'm really excited. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Graham. Love you. And then he also kitted me up a project, which I did ask for. He kitted up The Bride by Lavender and Lace. And this was on my 2025 plans to start. And so I told him how to go to 1, 2, 3 stitch and add everything to cart. So he got me the 32 count natural linen. I guess I can take this out of the bag. 32 count natural. And then all of the called for DMCs and white beads as well. I'm not going to take all these out because I will make a mess. But the colors in this are so stunning. So The Bride will officially be getting started this year. Don't ask me when, because I don't know. But it's coming. I'm very excited to start that. Like I said, we're getting married in October, and so I definitely want to have a good chunk of it done. I don't need to have it finished. That's not realistic because I have 100 other things I want to do, but I do want to have a start. Or I'll start it on my honeymoon. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. We're just taking it day by day, really, at this point. But the important thing is I have the fabric and the floss, so now it can start whenever I'm ready. I did also get some thrifted cross-stitch books while I was home for vacation, but I forgot to bring them upstairs, and my voice is about to give out. So I'm gonna save those and show them to you at a later date. I'm hoping to film some flip throughs once my voice is back to normal, because it's one thing to film this and you can see my face, but I feel like if you can't see me and you hear this nasty voice, it's not great. So once my voice is back to normal, I'll have some flip throughs coming from some vintage cross stitch books, and other than that, I'll plan on seeing you guys at the end of January to do my January wrap up. If you haven't had a chance already, I did post some Flossmas videos throughout the month of December, so there's lots of extra content to watch. I know we're in the middle of whip parade season right now, which I have been loving. Today's a snow day and I've been sick, so needless to say, I have watched a ton of whip parades. They're so fun. But my whip parade is in with my Flossmas videos. It's pretty short. I only have like 8 or 9 whips in there, I think. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you for putting up with my ugly voice if you made it this far, and I will see you in my next video.